Have you got a word on Mike Tyson and Jake Paul? What happens there?
You got to see Clapback. I have a good one for Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I hear Mike Tyson's in tremendous shape. I hear Jake Paul, I mean, he's looking yoked and big and strong. We will see. I give Mike Tyson the first 2-3 rounds. If he can take him out, it's sayonara for Jake Paul. But if it goes past 4, I think Jake Paul, the youth, the speed, the intelligence, might take over. So Mike Tyson, good luck. Bob and weave. Give us the vintage Tyson, baby.
We love your clapback verses. Keep them going, Oscar.
We will. Thank you.
No, jokes aside, I think the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight, I don't think it should be happening just because out of respect for somebody like Mike Tyson, who's an icon of the boxing world. If you ask people on the street who don't really follow boxing and don't watch boxing, you say, name me 3 fighters. They're always going to say Muhammad Ali. They're always going to say Mike Tyson. Do you know what I mean? And they're always going to chuck Carl Froch in there as well because the Cobra. But do you know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson's got that name. He's got that name where it's Mike Tyson, man. But he's had his days. He retired at, how old was he? He fought on too long. Anyway, he fought on too long when he was, what was he getting on for 40? That was too long.
Well, the Danny Williams fight was over 20 years ago.
Danny Williams. Is he the guy that ironed out that geezer outside the...
No, that was Julius Francis.
Oh, of course it was, yeah. Danny Williams was the one with the fucking dislocated shoulder, wasn't he, against Potter? Yeah, I remember watching him. Was that for the British title? But yeah, Mike Tyson shouldn't be getting in there with a 26-year-old man. And I know Jake Paul's fucking joker and he can't fight and he lives in clown world, but he still shouldn't be punching a 58-year-old man in the head. He just shouldn't be doing it. I don't care if it's Mike Tyson or a man on the street or someone out of a UFC, 58 years old. I mean, it's too old to be getting punched in the head. So I'm hoping that the contract's sensible and they're going to take the time a little bit. I mean, Jake Paul's probably going to try and chin him in it because he's got a massive ego and he wants everyone to believe he's a great fighter. But I don't know what pleasure you can take from beating an old Mike Tyson. I don't know what you get. Like, say Danny Williams beat him. And that's no disrespect to Danny Williams, but like a peak Mike Tyson, the peak Danny Williams is a mismatch. And Danny Williams beat him. He beat him because Mike Tyson was too old, finished. Mike Tyson's now 58, smoking weed, getting carried off airplanes because his back's fucked. You know what I mean? He can't walk. He's in a wheelchair. And then he's got a walking stick off the other. You know what I mean? He shouldn't be in a boxing ring in any capacity unless he's refereeing. He shouldn't be fighting. So the Jake Paul fight with Mike Tyson, for me, is disgusting. It's not right. It's wrong. It shouldn't be happening. Totally fucking condemn it. I don't agree with it. And I just hope and pray that Mike Tyson doesn't get seriously injured.
It just feels like it would be hard for me to see them do a real fight between a soon-to-be 58-year-old Iron Mike Tyson and a prime, physically strong young man, 27 years old, Jake Paul. Tyson, people remember him when he was great in the late, in the mid to late 80s when he was the king of the world and he was knocking everybody out and he became, what he became. The Tyson I remember, besides that Tyson, is the Tyson I covered in the early days of my professional boxing writing career, of covering his fights near the end of his career and watching him quit and watching it knock the fuck out and basically performing the way an old, unmotivated shot fighter would perform. That's the Tyson I remember. And when you are that age back in 2005, 2004, 2003, whatever, it's not going to get better with age. Now,
I have no idea. I'm absolutely petrified, to be honest. I just hope he doesn't hit Mike. I'm open Mike.
Do you think he could hurt Mike?
Of course he could, mate. He's off the age.
But does he possess the skills? Like Mike says already, he's a born killer and Jake's a manufactured killer. Do you still think that Jake Paul, if he lands flush on Mike Tyson, he's in trouble?
He's a grandfather, mate. He's a 58-year-old grandfather.
On this.
Well, I don't think Jake Paul can hurt Mike Tyson. That's what I think. I think, Mike Tyson's going to go in there. He basically has to catch up to Jake Paul because Jake Paul is not going to be there and trying to get hit by Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson really knows how to break down opponents, and I think the fight with Jake Paul he's going to try and break him down and take him out.
Okay. And you're happily retired, yes?
I'm happy.
Have you had offers?
Yeah, I have, but they haven't been serious enough.
In a couple months.
Well, he couldn't beat me, so he's going to fight granddads now, which is terrible, you know. What you was isn't what you are now. Mike Tyson's an absolute legend. He deserves the utmost respect, and listen, it is what it is. If Mike don't knock him out,
I think you're going to see two individuals that's great at what they do. Tyson was great at one time doing what he's doing Saturday, and for many years, probably 2.5 decades or more. And Jake Paul created something and turned it into something bigger. Entertainment at its highest level when it comes to combat sports. I look at it as entertainment only. If I was a young fighter looking for some educational skills that come out of that, it wouldn't be something that I would suggest that would be something that you should watch or look at. But if you want to be entertained, then it should be on your first list because it's Mike Tyson. Anything can happen, correct? It's Jake Paul, who's been a master in creating the attention of parts of fans of the universe. So he has a quote-unquote sell pitch, and Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson. So there's going to be people that's going to watch. Whether they break records or not, I ain't going to go that far. When I say break records, I'm talking about numbers. I'm talking about everything shut down. It took away viewers from, say, a football game or a basketball game, college, right? I don't think it's going to interfere with anything else that might be going up against the Jake Paul Mike Tyson pay-per-view fight that's going to happen. So what did that tell you? When Mike Tyson fought as a professional fighter, we wouldn't be talking about going to a basketball game or going to our son's soccer game or anything like that. It would be more talked about getting ready for that fight. To be shopping for clothes and where we're going to eat after it's over with. These are the things that separates the sweet science of boxing from entertainment of entertainment.
Bernard, at the age Mike Tyson's at, 58, the age Jake Paul's at, 27, can you in your brain see a situation where Jake Paul knocks Mike Tyson out? Can you see that? Like foresee that in your brain somewhere?
Anything can happen, especially at that age. I mean, we are human, and believe it or not, in spite of the great success that Mike Tyson has had, he would tell you first that he's human. And sometimes you're vulnerable when you're that age, even more now. I mean, we retire for a reason. And let me deal with logic for a minute. Logic tells, I believe, any individual, whether she or he are in denial or not, that it get a certain time of age where that job you had before is too taxing on your body. It's too much of an effort that you can no longer fulfill. That's when you know, whether it's basketball, hockey, football, when you into a high combat sport of that magnitude, you will find out real soon that your time had passed. Every generation gets that moment if you stay around long enough. It could be a blessing and a curse at the same time.
I'm
mean, Jake's going to beat him. I mean, no question about it. But Mike's is such a big name and an icon. Everybody grew up worshiping and idolizing Mike. So it's like, you know, it's kind of like almost Jake can't win that fight. If he wins, he loses. And if he loses, he loses. It's kind of a tough spot for him. But Netflix likes it. It makes a lot of money. And if it makes business, it makes...
I don't know. I'm ambivalent about it, really. I'm definitely going to watch it. I didn't enjoy the Roy Jones Jr. Mike Tyson fight, if you remember, back in 2020 during lockdown. But it was one of the biggest pay-per-view events of the year, if you recall. Did over 1 million pay-per-view buys, didn't it? And it wasn't... I think I was writing live on it. Was that a 4-round fight? 4 or 6-round fight? And that was Tyson Fury then. It was Mike Goodall who puts the rings together.
I don't think Mike Goodall's ever been called Tyson Fury, but...
Furious. I was really disappointed with that fight. I remember writing about it live in the middle of the night, and can I say it was a mismatch that night? Yeah, it was a bit of a mismatch. This may end up a mismatch. I mean, when you see Mike Tyson busting those with Rafael Cordero at MMA Kings. I think they're still MMA Kings. One of the great coaches, by the way, one of the great people in fight sports, Cordero. You just wonder, is Jake really going to be able to live with him? So look, it'll get universal derision. It's one of those, I just put wow, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, and a picture of the poster on my Instagram, and everyone's gone mad about it. You know, why are you backing this? I didn't back it. I just said wow, or whoa.
How did you spell it?
W-O-W.
That's wow.
Yeah, but wow, is that wow? But there's no...
Whoa is W-H-O-A.
Yeah, but what I'm saying... No, but what I'm saying is I didn't have any intonation with wow. It's not like... I don't feel a negative or a positive about it at the moment. I just think it's a big marketing ploy. Jake Paul, this is what he does. He's a master of PR. Mike Tyson's up for it. He's probably going to be paid handsomely, and good luck to him. You know, the most famous YouTuber on the planet is fighting the most famous living boxer on the planet. So it's going to be enormous.
What kind of Mike Tyson are you hoping for? Now, if you remember... I'm going to ask...
Well, the 1989 version would be nice, because we can all just sit back and watch Jake Paul get knocked out in a minute. But what kind of Mike Tyson?
There was the security guard. Remember when he bit Evander Holyfield's ear off and all the security came in the ring and he was stunned like that? That type of Mike Tyson?
Well, Mike Tyson won't want to be embarrassed, I'll tell you that. It's a bit like when Ricky Hatton fought Marco Antonio Barrera, and they were well past the sell-by date. You know, it's an exhibition, they touch gloves a lot, they box well against each other, but neither of them wants to make a fool of themselves. Mike Tyson won't want to make a fool of himself against Jake Paul. I'm picking Mike Tyson off the bat here to win the fight, on points or by...
Very, very good. Yes, no, I understand that. I was talking to my friend Sonny over here, and he was like, I can't have Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson. And I feel like a lot of people who grew up with Mike Tyson feel the same way, right? Like, Mike Tyson, he's a hero, he's a legend, he's an idol for a lot of people. Mike Tyson's punch out, all those great. Jake Paul's going to knock him out. I don't know if a lot of people can stomach that. Sort of the same sentiment when he fought Nate Diaz, right? People love Nate Diaz, like, please don't lose to Jake Paul. So he does things his own way. You know, people complained about the Andre August and Ryan Borland fight. I saw KSI tweet about it. I'm sure there are people who are going to hate it, but look, it's not a pay-per-view, so it just comes with your Netflix subscription. That's what I...
At the back end of his own professional career, that style didn't suit him. He was getting hit a lot more. That peekaboo style, that aggressive style suits a young man. So my style would suit a 57-year-old, you know, getting in there with a young man. You box in, move around, use your boxing ability. I don't know what Mike's going to do. They must be paying him a shitload of cash, because what Jake Paul is doing is he's buying the scalps. You know, when he boxed Anderson Silva, he bought the scalp. He would never have done it to Silva in his day. He's buying the scalp in Mike Tyson, because in his day, or close to his day, even the back end of his day, it couldn't have happened. But he's tapping into a business module where the fans are going to get lost in nostalgia. And still want to fight. I think Mike Tyson can send back the years another 30 years or so.
he can't. But we'll just wait and see what happens. How this fight is supposed to go down.